What's up guys, Stark here. In today's character spotlight we are taking a look at Lobo Fengxian. Again, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but I do apologize. Anyway, his pictures are on the screen right now for you guys to see. And he is a Berserker class, so he will be effective against the other types, and he will take double damage for them as well. So, it's pretty solid. His picture looks really weird. I can't really tell what's even going on in the picture, honestly. But yeah, it's not bad. His stats at level 70 are 8,119 attack and 8,302 HP. It's pretty solid stats for Berserkers. I don't recommend grilling this guy. His stats don't go very high at the end. But yeah, he's a nice level, 73-star servant. Yeah, it's pretty good. So let's take a look at his servant skills here. So his first skill is going to be called Valor B, which will increase his attack for 3 turns and increase mental debuff resistance for 3 turns as well. It is a self buff like most Berserkers have, and it does start at 9% at level 1 and goes up to 27% at level 10. It's a pretty solid buff, and you can combo that here with his Defiant B skill, which will increase his defense for 3 turns, but it decreases his attack buff hit rate for 3 turns. Which is kind of weird that it does that. I don't know exactly how it works, but based on the wording, I would assume you would want to use your first skill before you use the second skill, just to make sure you get that buff on him, rather than risk the chance of it failing. I think that's the way it works. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, the defense buff goes up to 25% at level 10, which is pretty solid. And his final skill here is going to be called Chaotic Ruthless Hero A, which increases Noble Phantasm damage for 1 turn, increases Critical Star gather rate for 1 turn, and decreases the defense of all allies except himself for 1 turn. So this is really odd for a skill here. It is a strengthening power-up quest skill that you get. Increases Noble Phantasm damage by up to 30% at level 10, and the Critical Star gather rate is 3,000% across the board. But it does decrease the defense of all allies by 20% across the board as well. It's really bizarre that he does this, but I guess the damage output is better than the defense reduction. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's his skills. Now, a lot of you guys have been talking about the passives and things like that, and I've never really mentioned them before. But I guess you guys wanted it badly enough, so I'll start talking about passives. For his class skill, he's going to have the Madness Enhancement A, which will increase his Buster Card effectiveness by 10%. This is only passive skill here, so he's definitely going to be more beneficial with using Buster Cards. And then as for his Ascension and Skill Enhancement materials, I'll throw those on the screen right now for you guys to see. He does need some horseshoes, some bones, and some claws. Obviously the pieces and monuments as well. It's gonna probably take a little bit to get the claws, but everything else shouldn't be too difficult to gather. And then for his skill enhancement materials, he needs more of the same, but sub out the claws for the crystals. And then there you go. So moving on here to his craft essence, it's going to unlock the Heaven Scorcher Halberd, and this will increase Buster Card effectiveness of all allies by 15% while in the field. So this is your generic Buster Card craft essence. Nothing really impressive about that one. So let's move on here and talk about his command cards and his Null Phantasm. He has 1 Quick, 1 Arts, 3 Busters, which is basically your standard setup for Berserker class cards. So you're definitely going to want to use him in a Berserker team. Yeah, a Berserker team. A Buster card team. And his Noble Phantasm is also Buster as well. And this will deal significant damage to a single enemy that ignores defense, and has a low chance to inflict stun on the overcharge. So at level 1 it is a 600% increase, and level 5 it is a 1000% increase for damage. It's pretty good. Combo that with his skills when we get that to increase his Noble Phantasm damage and all the Buster Card rate ups. It'll probably do some really solid damage. It is only for 1 enemy, so it'll probably one-shot most enemies that aren't like top tier bosses and things like that. So yeah, it's a pretty solid damage dealing, middle of the pack servant. That's just my opinion, at least. So now for some craft essences you can use on this guy. Kaleidoscope. You know, just get that Noble Phantasm ready. It's probably not really that important on this guy. You might want to opt for like Verdant Sound of Destruction for the 15% increase, or Limit 0 Over for the 25% increase, just to do like consistent more damage overall, as opposed to doing like one huge hit. But that's just basically depends on what you're doing or what you're trying to achieve on your team. So yeah, this guy, he's kind of just, like I said, middle of the pack. Not a whole lot is special about this guy. So there's not a whole lot to talk about with him. So that's going to pretty much wrap up this video. Tomorrow I will be doing Caster from Fate Zero. For sure, I have a bunch of friends who sent me a friend request. So thank you, whoever did that, all you guys. I appreciate it. So I'll be doing him tomorrow, and I'll leave you guys here with Lobo's Noble Phantasm. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Nande なんでよ。